okay, every guys, y'all don't know this, but on the podcast, since we've been remote, we've been doing like a 3-2-1 snap so we can like sync our sound up. And I snap because I'm holding the microphone with my left hand, so I'm snapping with my right. And I think I'm getting arthritis in my middle right finger, and it really, really hurts when I snap with my right hand.
Oh, could you switch like the hand that you're holding the microphone in so that you snap with your left? Does that hurt?
Not as much, no.
Well, there you go.
For some reason, I'm more comfortable snapping with my right hand than my left, even though I'm left-handed. Crazy, right?
If you're getting arthritis, I think we can make a change. Of course, I want you to be comfortable, but more, I want your health. We've got to keep your health up. Could go on stage at any moment.
Girl, you are not going to teach this old-ass dog new tricks, okay? If I'm snapping with my right hand, I'm snapping with my right hand until I fucking die, okay?
Okay, well, best of luck with that.
Thank you. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Two Gay Mats, the podcast. It is Matt Steele.
And it's Matt Palmer.
And guys, this is the very last podcast where you will see me with this background because I am leaving this apartment to go to a new sublet on Tuesday.
Wow, how does it feel? Do you feel like you've taken in everything you needed from this apartment, excited to move on, or are you sad?
Well, I know that I have not taken everything I could possibly take in from the West Village because, as we heard in Lily Allen's album, there are a lot of adventures that happen in the West Village, and I did not partake in said adventures there.
I think that's okay.
I guess I didn't take all of that in. I didn't make the most use of the West Village as I possibly could have. But, you know, for the short period of time I was here, I've been here about 2.5 months now. I think I did what I could. And now I'm going to be a Lower East Side girl because that's where my new sublet is.
I love it. So you said it's Tuesday that you're doing the big move?
It's Tuesday. I'm doing the move because that's my day off. And so I'm going to I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to start like lugging stuff to the other place. I don't have that much. So it's really not going to be like a huge ordeal, but it's just like, oh, but I'm going to miss this place.
I know. I'm going to miss that background. It's so cute.
There will be a new background. The guy is the place where I'm staying. The guy is an artist, so he has these giant like artistic murals that he's like painted, and they're really, really cool. So I'm excited to see if I can like fit one of those into the background of some kind. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. But if it doesn't end up working, it'll just look like I'm in front of just a whole bunch of gray shit.
Great. I think that's a good plan B. Just you in front of a lot of grays.
Grays. Yes, Matt Palmer, How was your week, though? What'd you do?
My week was pretty good. I'm trying to think if I did anything too crazy. Well, on Friday, we saw a film that I think we're going to be discussing at some point during this podcast entitled Merrily We Roll Along. And so that was fun. And then on Saturday, I went to our friend Natalia and Eric's yearly holiday party, and it was Wicked themed. It was like Wicked and holiday. And so we love everything. A lot of green, but then some pinks, some reds, some whites. A lot of the colors were represented at that party. And so I really enjoyed that.
What's red and white in Wicked?
Well, no, red and white is for Christmas, and then pink and green is for Wicked. And then the green's the overlap, obviously.
Okay, this is a lot, but sure. Okay, sure.
It was a wonderful party. We've been several times. It's a white elephant. We wound up with a blanket, and Jackson's like, do we need another throw blanket? And I'm like, I get cold. And thus, we got a lovely, lovely blanket. And also, he got like a gag gift that was a part, I guess, of the tradition of that party for many years, which is like a Lakers flag they can put on a car or whatever. And I'm like, okay, whether Jackson uses that or not, I'm just concerned because I'm like, it feels like we have to bring this back next year. And that's like a whole year of knowing where this little flag is. So check in with me this time next year to see if we still have it or if we've passed it on to someone else after Natalia's party next year. We'll see.
All right. Well, if I ever get cold, I could use that blanket when I'm at your place.
No, the blanket's not really up for usage. So sorry. It's kind of a personal blanket.
You're not going to share a blanket? What if I'm freezing? What if I have hypothermia in your apartment? What if I fall into the lake and you have to save me and I'm in your room shivering? You're not going to throw a blanket on me?
If that's the situation, yes, you can use the blanket. But I just don't anticipate that all happening, but you never know. If you're in dire need of a blanket, it can be here for you, but we're not going to open with that blanket. It's new.
But it has to be dire.
It has to be dire.
Okay.
Yes. And
great.
Then today I went to brunch with some friends, with Sarah, Joe, and Tim, Sarah's husband, Eric. And then we went to the Christmas tree lighting that happens in Atwater every single year. But we had to be back for the podcast, so I didn't actually see the tree all lit up. Oh, but we also did our outside lights for the holidays as well. So our Christmas lights are up. I got one of those little reindeer that like stand in the front, and like it's kind of a golden brown. So like it looks cute during the day, but then at night it's all lit up. So I'm pretty over the moon about it,
I'm happy that these are the things that make you happy. I think that's beautiful.
Why are you so anti-Christmas decoration? That's what I'd like to know.
Because what a fucking pain in the ass. And where are you putting all that? You don't got no attic. Where do you stick that?
In the garage. We don't use the garage for cars. We use it for, stuff that we don't need in the home.
For Christmas. Okay.
For Christmas.
I don't have time for that. I don't have a garage. I don't have any time for any of that. I am excited because this week I am getting my union health insurance because I qualify for Actors Equity Health Insurance starting December 9th. And I'm going to call those motherfuckers up and be like, sign me up and test me for everything, poke and prod every cell of my goddamn body. And if they find cancer, then I'll be excited that I have that union insurance.
All right. Yes. They won't. You're healthy. You're doing great. And, also, does this mean you have this insurance for the upcoming year? Like, how does it work as far as like you have it now, you don't have it if in the future?
I believe it's every 12 months of employment through Actors Equity, you get 6 months of health insurance. So I'll probably only have 6 months of health insurance for the year, but it's fine. I'll use it up.
From the outside looking in, that doesn't seem fair. It seems like when I'm at a job for 12 months, I have health insurance for 12 months. If the job offers health insurance, right? Like, I don't get it.
Well, no. 12 weeks. 12. Did I say 12 months?
Yes. Oh, it's 12 weeks.
Oh, sorry. Okay. No, it's 12 weeks of work. You
Cool.
get 6 months of health insurance.
All right.
Sorry. Every time I listen to this goddamn podcast, I completely am saying the wrong word and I don't even realize it. And I'm like, these people probably think I'm a fucking idiot, but whatever.
It's fine. No one's judging you. We're here to have a good time. It's all about having fun. It's the holiday season. We are not here for judgment. We're here for joy.
No, I like perfection. But yeah, so this week, I can't say I did like a huge amount. I, went out to dinner with my really good friends, Amanda and Steve, who I went to high school with. I saw a bunch of movies. I saw a bit of theater that will also come up. I saw a little bit of theater at the movies, which will also come up in this podcast.
Yes.
And I don't know, since I'm leaving this apartment soon, I was like, let me squeeze in one more season of Survivor. So I've been binging season 44 of Survivor in my Survivor binge. As you all know, I've started at the beginning and I'm working my way through up to present day. So 44 was done. And 44, that's the season with Carolyn from Traitors.
Oh.
And let me tell you, girl, she is exactly the same on Survivor as she was in Traitors. Like, just so entertaining, so fun, and probably so difficult to work with.
Does she do well in Survivor?
She does. She makes it to Final Tribal. And
wow.
Honestly, listen, I love the winner. The winner is Jam Jam, who's also going to be on this upcoming season of Traitors. So I'm really excited because I would marry him in a heartbeat. He is so adorable, so cute, so lovable, so sweet, played a really, really good game. But Carolyn got 0 votes at the final tribal council. And I'm like, girl, you were low-key robbed. Like, wow. How did you get 0 votes? Like, that to me, that's crazy. But, I wasn't on that island. I don't know. So that's sort of what I've been doing. And it's been a good time.
Okay, and also, I didn't have a plan of announcing this, but since we're talking Traitors, just for all the people out there who are interested in our Traitors thoughts, Steele and I have decided that starting January 8th, we are going to make a patron-only podcast, like a spin-off podcast where we discuss and break down Traitors, because there's literally no show on planet Earth that both of us care about as much as Traitors. And as much as we love talking about it every week on the regular podcast, I'm sure there are some people that don't care about it. And also we can now do a bit of a deeper dive. So if you want to take a listen to that, if you want to be a part of the Traitors community and hear our podcast about it every single week, go to patreon.com/2gaynats. I'm excited. This is our first spin-off podcast. What's it going to be like? I'm excited for
I know. Well, we had the listening party. Remember that? Which was the Spotify exclusive thing. That was cute. That was a cute little moment. We were trying stuff.
They don't even let you do that anymore. Spotify discontinued the podcast plus music thing, so we couldn't do that again if we wanted.
Wow. God. Are they still there? Like, can you at least listen to them?
I think they're still there. I think we just couldn't make a new one. But yes, that was before we really were doing album reactions on YouTube or whatever, because it was kind of like the audio version of that. So this is behind a paywall, so it's different. So if you want to...
So we love this.
We love this. If you want to be a part of it, go to patreon.com/2gaymats. Oh, and speaking of behind a paywall, even though the first track is up on our YouTube, I just have to point out one more time for all of us, that all the people that listen to this and don't watch our YouTube channel, the new Jade deluxe edition of her album, That Showbiz Baby, the encore, is so fucking good. Like, we cannot stress enough how much, at least I can't stress enough how much I love her. I love her artistry. I love her as a pop star that's breaking down. The Doors is not trying to be atmospheric and cool, is trying to make the best pop song she can every time she comes out. I love, love, love her. And I mean, all my eggs are in the Jade basket as far as the future of pop music. She's doing it. She's just doing it. I love her.
Yeah. And also other albums that we reacted to, where one of the tracks is on YouTube, the Wicked movie soundtrack. We were going to post the entire reaction on YouTube, and they won't let us.
They won't let us.
They won't let us. The witches will not let us. So someone throw a house on anyone who made that decision. Okay.
Okay. Should we jump into our news for idiots this week, Matt Steele?
Let's do it.
Okay, the first one isn't exactly a piece of news. I guess it's the news for us, you know, as two people who are a part of this podcast community. The Spotify Wrapped came out for all of us this week, meaning that we can all finally do a deep dive in what we have been listening to in 2025. And so I requested that Matt Steele, you know, do his Spotify Wrapped, and so we can talk about our top songs, our top artists, our listening ages, and just all the shit we want to share about our Spotify Wraps this year. So do you want to start, Matt Steele? Do you want to tell us what's the top of the Matt Steele charts for 2025?
I guess I can start. What are we going to tell all the people? Like, am I going to tell the people that I listened to 6,608 minutes of music?
Okay.
Year, or?
I always think it's so shocking how little music you listen to on Spotify.
Yeah, I only listen to music when I I'm like walking somewhere if I'm listening to something for 2Gay Mats. I just also want to like preface all of this by saying that the 2Gay Mats Spotify Wrapped is also very skewed, because we have to listen to things that we wouldn't necessarily listen to on our own accord. True. So there are some like random things that will pop up on my Spotify Wrapped, and I'm just like, how is this like my number 4 most listened to artist? And it's because I had to stream that album like 4 times to really understand it for one of our like patron requested videos or something like that. So I'm going to like eliminate the ones that I know are that.
Oh, okay.
And, just tell you that because it's like those don't count.
Right. Well,
do I tell you
yeah, my number of listens, by the way, my time listened is 59,735. What is it? Minutes? Hours? They're not even telling me the. Minutes listened. Yes. So I'm always listening.
I looked at this and it says you listened to 6,608 minutes. That's 4 days. Nice. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a fucking loser. I need a life. But you, girl,
I did not feel like a loser. And I will say, a friend of ours reached out to me after I sent him, our list or whatever. And it was like, that's actually not a lot of music for you to listen to. I was like, I know I've been listening to more podcasts, so it's eaten up some of my time. But yes, sorry. Do you want to start with your artist or start with your songs?
I will start with my artists, I think.
Okay.
Hold on, let me grab that. Okay. So my number 1 artist for the year, which was no surprise.
No, start with
to
5.
me.
Start with 5.
Oh, start with 5. Oh, sorry.
Yes,
okay, so my number 5 artist, which is maybe a little surprising to me, but not really when I think about the album that they put out. My number 5 is Lord.
Great album.
Obviously,
that
Virgin
got
came
very
out.
slept
But also,
on, I felt like.
Yeah. Also, a lot of songs I listened to were in preparation for cultivating the Travis Tracks playlist.
Okay.
The number of genres that I listen to is like, it says I listen to like 200 something genres.
Wow.
Because I had listened to so much variety just because I was cultivating that playlist. Anyway, my number 4 is an artist named Daniel Blumberg. Who is the person who did the score of the movie The Brutalist, because I listened to that movie soundtrack a lot this year.
Okay, I think that's cool. All right.
Isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so my number 3 is Beyonce. My number 2 is Taylor Swift. And my number 1, which was not a surprise to me in the slightest, is Lady Gaga. I mean, Mayhem
that's
was
beautiful.
yeah, Mayhem.
I mean,
obviously.
I also, as I am talking about all of my lists, I'd all the little monsters out there who think Palmer hates Gaga. Palmer's always so mean to Gaga. Palmer hates Gaga. Listen up. Let's open our ears and open our hearts. Okay, number 5 for me, Taylor Swift. Makes sense. New album. I listen to a lot of her classics. Taylor, number 5. Number 4 was a little surprising for me, but I guess it makes sense. Ariana Grande. I was like, oh. Okay, I guess with, Eternal Sunshine, the deluxe edition came out this year. I love that album, and, her music pops up for me every once in a while. So I was interested in that, curious about it. Number 3, who I think this is the lowest she has been in, a few years, at least, Beyonce. She did not put out a new album this year, so it makes sense that she's, not number 2, or I think one year she actually was number 1 for me, which was a wild year. But I think that was Cowboy Carter. That album's so long. Number 2.
Yeah, that's hours and hours of music in just one listen.
Exactly. Number 2, Little Monsters, Lady Gaga. Let's put our paws up. All right, pause. I like her. This album is great, and I was very into it. So she was my number 2 artist of the year. And number 1, I know it's shocking. Okay. There's really no way to know, no way to guess. But the queen of music, who's possibly, by the time you're listening to this on your podcast app, has the number 1 song in the country again, Miss Mariah Carey. Which, by the way, just so we're clear, if she's number 1 this week, which it looks like she's going to be, she will again tie the record for longest running number 1 single of all time with All I Want for Christmas Is You, 19 weeks, which ties Lil Nas X, ties the Shaboozey, Tipsy song. And then if she's number 1 one more time this holiday season, it's back to a solo crowning, and I just foresee it. I foresee it. Because she
Let's
had
make
that
it
record.
happen.
Hey, great single. And we had that record for so long, The Lambs, but with One Sweet Day up until Old Town Road, right? So it'll just be nice. It'll be like, oh, all is right in the world again. Even though we love Lil Nas X, and Shaboozey seems like a nice young man. But yeah, those are my top 5.
Yeah, you want to know what happened after Lil Nas X beat the record, Mariah's record? A pandemic happened. The world went to absolute shit. And so when Mariah is number 1 for longest running number 1, again, all will be right in the world.
I like that. I like the way you think. I do. All right, your top songs. Let's hear them. 5 to 1.
All right, so my number 5 is a wonderful song that I'm surprised is not like my number 3 or maybe number 2, and that is the song Boy Crazy by Kesha.
Classic.
What a song. What a fucking song. We reacted to that song for the first time on our Patreon, and we were just like, wait. This is perfect pop music.
Yes.
My number 4 is the opening of, as I said, the movie soundtrack of The Brutalist. It is the overture, in parentheses, ship.
Is this like when you're on a walk, when you're like getting boba? Like when are you listening to the Brutalist soundtrack?
All of the above. Like when I'm on a walk, when it's dark in my bedroom, when I'm imagining like things, when I'm reimagining the movie, but I don't want to actually like sit down and watch the whole movie again. Like I turn on the overture and I remember how fucking incredible the opening of The Brutalist is. And it just makes me happy. It makes me feel great. So yeah, that's my number 4. My number 3 is I would consider both a Lady Gaga and a Taylor Swift song. And that is a song called How Bad Do You Want Me?
Yes, that makes all the sense in the world.
Oh, guys, what a fucking... I will never forget listening to that for the first time and just being like, this song is it's just a pop song. It's just a pop song, but yet for some reason, it was so funny at the time hearing it for the first time because it was just like, wait, this sound is crazy coming out of this person who gave us Disease a couple tracks before.
Exactly.
But it's so fucking good. My number 2 song... Matt Palmer should be very happy about because it is directly putting money into his pockets. It put maybe about 3 cents in, and that is Blow Your Speakers Out by... How? Like, this better be in your like top stream songs, motherfucker. Girl, you gotta support your damn self.
I've heard the song a lot. Let's be fair, but okay, I love that it's number 2 for you. I think that's beautiful.
Who cares if you've heard a lot? Stream it while you're in the shower. It's Big Time Rush, Blow Your Speakers Out, written by Matt Palmer and said Big Time Rush fellows, and everybody stream it because it's the greatest song of all time. But my number 1, I'm so sorry, Matt Palmer. It's just because it came out earlier in the year, and also it's a fucking monumental piece of music that I hope wins some Grammy Awards this year. That is Abracadabra by Miss Lady Gaga.
I mean, Amor una na. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's a great fucking song. And I love that it was your number one because it leads me right into my number 5, which is Abracadabra by Lady Gaga.
Only your number 5, Lord.
I mean, yeah, you'll see the list. It'll make sense. But yes, I love Abracadabra. My paws are up. Let's all remember, number 2 artist of the year. Matt Palmer loves Gaga. Tell the world. Spread the word. Okay. Number 4, the title track off of Mariah's latest record, Here for It All, is my favorite track on that album. It is the one that I go back to the most often, so I was happy to see it represented in the top 4 at number 4. The thing is also, this only goes through, this is like what, through the end of October or something? Like, I don't think November and December streams count.
Yeah, and that's a lot. You listen to that a lot, I guess.
Because that's the thing. This album came out on like the 26th of September. So yes, it was a lot of time was spent listening to the song, but for very good reason. I really feel like it is a sister song to lead the way, and the fact that she's this far into her career making music this incredible, you got to give her flowers. Absolutely. Number 3 for me, Miss Lady Gaga's paws are up again. I'm gonna take you to the Garden of Eden.
That was my number 6.
What a classic. I love it so much. I was shocked that Shadow of a Man is not on my top 5. I bet it's somewhere near the top, absolutely. But then number 2 and number 1 makes sense because, Mariah fan, new album, blah, blah, blah. The pre-release singles. Number 2 is Type Dangerous and number 1 is Sugar Sweet.
Yes, Sugar Sweet. Justice for Sugar fucking Sweet, guys.
I know. I feel like people talk shit about those singles. Also, they're like, when you listen to the full album, you see that the first 2 singles are like not representative and they're not that good, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I think they're great, actually. I think they're great
excellent.
singles.
Get out of here.
Great choices. Like, yes, I want to hear Here for It All. I would love, I Won't Allow It. I would love In Your Feelings with Bruno Mars. But these were great choices. So let's not do that. My number 1. Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, and speaking of Lady Gaga, my number 2 top genre was art pop.
I saw that was an option. I'm like, oh, wow. So we've just made a whole new genre then.
Yeah. It could be anything.
It could be anything. That's what makes it a little confusing. Yeah. What was your listening age? Do you have that one?
Well, my number 1 top genre was musicals. So that really bumps up my listening age quite a bit. But I think it was also bumped down because of all the Travis tracks that I listened to like earlier in the year when I was compiling that playlist for him. It says my listening age is 53. And it says, since you were into so much music from the early 90s.
Oh, I love it.
Like late 80s, early 90s. And I was like, interesting. Okay.
Well, wait. What my top genre?
I think that was because of Travis tracks.
That makes sense.
Trying to pick the 90s choices. Yeah.
I think my top genre is dance pop's number 1, then contemporary R&B, musicals number 3, singer songwriter number 4, and then number 5 rap. I guess I was listening to that Cardi B album a good bit. And my listening age,
look at you, musicals number 3.
I told you I love theater. What can I say?
That's what the 2 Gay Mats is all about.
Absolutely. And my listening age, I will say, of everyone's listening age that I've heard, mine is the closest to my actual age versus anyone's. I got 39. So just a year off since I was into music from the early 2000s. And I'm like, was I? I mean, I guess, but 39 was very close. They were on very the money, close. Pretty much.
Is it a year off, up or down? No one will ever know.
It's a year older. I'm not 40 yet. I am still 38. But I mean, 40 is not. I'm knocking on the door. I'm knocking on the door of 40. Absolutely. Do you have your top albums just by streams?
Oh, let me go to that. Hold on.
I can do mine first. My number 5, Virgin. Love that album. Lord. Number 4, Cowboy Carter, Beyonce. I'm still listening to it. But it also won album of the year this year, prompted some revisits. Number 3, Eternal Sunshine Deluxe, Brighter Days Ahead, Ariana Grande. I guess that probably contributed a lot to her being so high on my artist list. Number 2, after a month and 15 days, or a month and like 5 days, is Here for It All by Mariah Carey. I love, love, love. And then number 1, Pause Up, Mayhem, Lady Gaga. I love her when she makes music like this.
Yeah, Mayhem was my number 1 as well.
Good for you. Look at us.
And then the Brutalist.
You're so weird. I didn't know you were just walking around listening to the Brutalist all the time.
I love listening to movie scores.
I guess, yeah. I just didn't think about it. What's your other 3?
My number 3 was Hamilton. Which is interesting because I don't remember listening to that album in full this year. But I guess I did. I don't know. And my number 4 and 5 are 2 patron requested ones. It's Muna Saves the World and Regina Spektor's Far.
Oh, that Regina Spektor album is great. But yeah, that'll do it. When we have to listen to things basically for homework, it makes sense. I have some podcasts. My number 1's The Read. Number 2, Bitch Sesh. Number 3, Everything Iconic with Danny Pellegrino. Number 4, Giggly Squad, which is the Paige and Hannah podcast. And then number 5, Las Culturistas. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. My bet is that Two Gay Mats is like your number 1 podcast on your Spotify Wrapped. Am I correct?
No, I don't listen to that on Spotify. I listen to that on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What's the choice? Like, why sometimes are you on Spotify for podcasts and sometimes you're on Apple?
I don't know. It's just the way God tells me to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. But my number 1 through 5 in podcasts is the DGA, the Director's Cut, because it's the only podcast on Spotify that I listen to.
We use the Spotify app very differently, I'm learning. Like, I am in there all the live long day doing everything that I can do.
For 50-something thousand hours.
Yeah, for 59,000 hours. It's true. Minutes, not hours.
Minutes, whatever.
So, I mean, Spotify Wrapped, I love. I feel like, Spotify did some problematic shit this year that I'm still angry at them about. But then you look at the list of how many other entities did that same thing because they were like... Basically, they would include ads up for like ICE recruitment in their Spotify on the like free level. And I think other streaming services that had ad support would do the same thing. And so it's like, oh, well, why don't you move to Apple Music? And it's like, maybe I should, but then Tim Cook's sitting down with Trump himself. It's just like, there's no way to live in a society and not... Especially in America in 2025 and not be like indirectly supporting fascism like we've all ordered from Amazon. It's just like, it's hard. So I hear you for the people out there who are like, why are you so into Spotify? I'm not. I wish they wouldn't do that. I wish Tim Cook didn't sit down with Trump. I wish Amazon wasn't run by Jeff Bezos. But again, this is the world we're living in. It's probably just a message to all of us to this Christmas holiday season. We should be shopping small. We should be shopping local. We should do what we can to, because it's like the last thing we want to be doing is giving billionaires more money to, throw us under the bus with it. But I just had to get that out. I understand that Spotify's problematic. Everything's problematic. And the world is a nightmare. So
we're not
happy holidays.
Two Gay Mats, the podcast, isn't problematic yet.
It's not yet. We're hoping to keep that streak alive.
Let's see how that goes, guys.
We shall. Well, speaking of seeing how it goes, we saw how Merrily We Roll Along goes. We saw how that went this Friday. I think we both went to the theater to see the pro shot of Jonathan Groff and Lindsay Mendez and Dana Radcliffe performing Merrily We Roll Along. It was on Broadway, I think, last year and is now entering theaters as a Fathom event for the next week and a half, I think. I think it opened on Friday and then it'll be playing through like the 14th, I want to say. But Matt Steele texted me while we're on our way. And in fairness, we were taking Jackson's cousin with us. And we were on time, right? But this cousin just got out of college, a younger person. And so he was running a little late and we were picking him up. And so he gets in the car and I'm like, oh, we'll probably be like 4 or 5 minutes late to the movie itself. But I mean, we're going to the movie theater. They're probably going to be 20 minutes of previews. And then as we're driving to the theater, Matt Steele texts me and was like, by the way, there are no previews. I was like, oh, fuck.
And I was like, and he was like, oh no, we're running late. And at this point it was like 7:06 or whatever. And I was just like, oh, like what time is your show time? And he's like, it was at 7. And I'm like, girl.
We did only miss like the half of the opening Merrily We Roll Along performance and of that opening.
Oh, so did you see like that Frank and everything?
Yes. Saw that, Frank.
Oh, so I think so you didn't miss much. I guess that
I didn't miss
they must have played some previews for you.
I think they did.
Yeah.
But Matt Steele, what was your situation seeing the film?
Well, the thing is, I had already seen this pro shop before, because this is the recreation of the Maria Friedman production that was at the Chocolate Factory in London on the West End, which was very successful. They did a pro shot of that in like 2014 or 2015, I forget, and it was also in theaters. So I saw that like 10 years ago in the theaters. So I've already seen this production in a pro shot setting in a movie theater. But, it was exciting to see it again and also see it with this new cast with, Jonathan Groff and Danny Radcliffe. They won Tony Awards and everything, and Lindsay Mendez, who's also a Tony Award winner. But so I was excited to see it again. And yeah, it was the same exact production, which is like a very good production and everything. But I'm interested in like what your thoughts were for this like musical, because this is your first experience with Merrily We Roll Along. Like what did you get from it? Was it kind of What were your thoughts going in, and what were your thoughts coming out?
My thoughts going in is I think I had seen a performance of the three actors we were seeing in the roles on, like, I don't remember if it was Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, some Jimmy late night host, and they performed Old Friends. And so when they performed that a few different times in the show, but whenever they would perform it, I was like, oh, I recognize this. I really enjoy this, but I didn't really know the concept. So the fact that we're starting at Frank's 40th birthday party, I want to say he's definitely 40 at the time, celebrating this big success in the movie Sphere.
And it's weird because they make him seem so old at 40. They're just like, oh, he's lived a life. And I'm like, girl, I'm waiting for my life to begin.
I know. I guess 40 felt differently to them back then. But yes, no, it certainly was like, all right, we're putting a cherry on top. He's achieved everything he needs to achieve. Time to die. And it's like, all right, let's not do that. But that opening scene is tough. It's just tough. Like Lindsay Mendez, her performance of Mary is so, tough in that first scene because basically he's having this party with all of these people who are not as close to him as Lindsay Mendez and, what you learn Daniel Radcliffe is. Charlie, I want to say the character's name is. And to see the fact that we're starting at the end of this story, like this is very last 5 years coded. I understand that.
No, darling. Last 5 years is Merrily We Roll Along coded. Merrily We Roll Along, for those of you who don't know, is a very, very famous Broadway flop. It was after Stephen Sondheim had a string of huge successes in the 70s. This was his first flop post all of these successes. And this was 1981. It famously ran 16 performances, was totally panned. But it's been sort of like reimagined, a little rewritten throughout the years. New songs have been added. Some songs are scrapped. And this was the second Broadway mounting, and it was obviously very successful. Won Tony Awards and everything. So keep going, Matt Palmer.
Okay, which by the way, just as you're describing the Sondheim and like how this happened in his show history, would you call Merrily We Roll Along Stephen Sondheim's Glitter? Because it sounds like it is.
A little bit, yeah. Well, Stephen Sondheim's first, because the thing is he's had flops before. Like it was like he found the first show he wrote all the music and the lyrics to was Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which was a very big success. But the music wasn't super like lauded for that show. It was mostly a success because it was like super funny. So he was like, okay, I'm going to do something really experimental. And that show was Anyone Can Whistle, which was the next show, which that was an even bigger flop. That I think was 4 performances or 6 performances. I forget.
Jesus.
But it was like sort of when Stephen Sondheim was first just like adding his sort of like interesting experimental touch to shows and everything. And then after Anyone Can Whistle, that's when it was Company, Follies, Little Night Music, Pacific Overture, Sweeney Todd's. It was like the 70s were very good for Stephen Sondheim. So yeah, this was his first flop post huge success, but he had flops before.
Got it.
So I guess maybe you could say Anyone Can Whistle is Mariah's Emotions, even though Emotions was still successful.
It was. It was a sophomore slump, but not.
Yeah, this I would say is his Glitter. It's when he was just like, I'm gonna give it all. I'm giving up, and then came back with Emancipation. Because after Merrily, he came back with Sunny in the Park with George, baby, which won him the Pulitzer. And it's very much his Butterfly. It's his most personal work. And so, but anyway, Merrily We Roll Along.
Yeah.
It's interesting how this production changed. Because when it comes to Merrily We Roll Along, I am a Harold Prince purist because he's directed the original production and his concept was, I'm going to cast all young people. It was like the Spring Awakening of its time. Like he was like, I'm casting like 17-year-olds to 24-year-olds as all of these people, and we're going to see them in the beginning of the show as these old, worn people, and then gradually we're going to see like their younger self. We're going to have these young people tell these stories about these old people, and then at the end of the show, we see them as they are, as young dreamers and everything. And I always thought that concept was brilliant, but apparently everyone was just like, oh, it didn't work, and I'm just like, how did that not work? Because I find that an incredible concept, but I wasn't there, I wasn't even alive. So but yeah, so yeah, it starts it's very much it starts in 1968, I believe, and then it goes backwards in time, and it tells the story of this friendship that at the end of their in 1968, like all the friendships have like dissolved, but then it keeps going backwards in time to show you how we got to where we were.
Yeah.
and like how the whole thing is sort of about how when you're young you have these big dreams and big ambitions and everything, and where that starts to go awry. And I think it's so interesting how it goes backwards in time, because an interesting thing about Merrily is like I feel like for the first like 40 minutes you're kind of just like, why do I really care about these people? Like you're kind of just like, I don't like it. It has like Frank and his friend Charlie who are constantly arguing about like, they're writers. Like Frank is a composer, Charlie writes lyrics and everything and writes plays. And they're just like, do we write the show we want to write artistically, or do we like do this movie or do this more commercial musical just to like make a lot of money and everything? And Frank is always like, we can always do the thing we want to write. We can always do that later, but let's make more money first. And so that's very much a struggle between them. And when you're kind of watching all of that up front, you're kind of just like, I don't really care that like Frank wants to make a lot of money, and like, what's the big deal? You know, why you gotta whine so much, Charlie? But then I think the ending is so effective. Like as we keep going on, it's so effective because you really see their younger selves and you're just like, oh, now I get it. Whereas like when they're older, there's a little bit of distance from the story, but then you get more and more involved as you get to know them, their younger selves more, you know?
Right. And it was hard for me only in that I really, honestly, just so we're clear, really enjoyed the pro shot. I really enjoyed the show. But I think Frank comes off so poorly in that first scene where like, you know, he's cheating on his wife with this young actress, and like she gets iodine thrown in her eyes, and Mary's so drunk and Charlie's not even there because they've had this big falling out. And it's just every scene prior to where it's like, oh, this is why this happened. This is how this happened. This is what, you know, that scene was referring to. I just, even when it was sweet, I was like, but then it all goes wrong. It just felt like the theme for me was like, success does not agree with some people. Like, I feel like the Frank character, the worst thing that happened to him was becoming successful, where it's like like even though Mary had her own successes in her own way and like kind of took a turn, but like, and she you know took to the bottle a little too hard, obviously, but like still she was still in there and like still had that relationship with Charlie. Frank, I feel like surrounded himself with such, like, you know, what did Mary say? She said that all these people are junk. Like, this isn't real. Nothing you have now is real, and the real thing you had, you squandered. It just is. It's hard to root for him.
Even in Act 2, there's a scene where Gussie, who plays the woman who ends up becoming Frank's wife, who's like this very vapid, shallow, very assertive, like he has an affair with Gussie. She leaves her husband for him and everything. She's not the nicest of individuals and everything, but even there's a part when they first meet where she describes all these people at this party that they're trying to impress as the Blob. And that was a little moment that was written for like in subsequent productions and everything like that was added later. And it's very much just like what those kind of people are. Like it's all these people who aren't the ones that have the talent, that aren't the artists, but they just want to surround themselves with all these interesting people because they themselves are not interesting. And so they're just like desperate to feel like a part of something. And it's like, but those are the people you kind of also have to impress in order to like get your stuff seen. So like it deals with like themes of that and everything in terms of the entertainment industry. Were there any songs that kind of like stood out to you?
I mean, Not a Day Goes By obviously is really incredible. I love every time they go to old friends. But yeah, those two are the highlights for me initially.
Fucking Katie Rose Clark. I forgot that she was in this fucking production. Katie Rose Clark is the one who she plays Beth. Yes. She plays his wife, Beth. She is always fucking incredible in everything, and she needs shit written for her, like in the musical theater world. Because every time I see her on stage, she's in the pro shot of The Light in the Piazza. She plays Clara, which we need to sit down and watch one day together, Matt Palmer. And then I saw her as Glinda twice, and she was unbelievable. And then she was in the musical Allegiance, and like truly like had this character that was just a romantic lead character, but like she made it so incredibly funny and like specific. And then when she was in this, I was just like, yes, I love her so much. I think she's excellent in everything. So like props to her I absolutely love her.
And the first time we see her like outside of the divorce court, it just is like so heartbreaking and devastating. And then the fact that they then recreate, this is very last 5 years did this as well, but it's like, oh, I'm singing the same song, but with a completely different emotion because we've moved backwards in time and I still have like stars in my eyes for you. And even though these same words are being said, the emotion behind them is so very, I just thought, every time she was also someone whenever she'd pop up earlier on and she was so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I was like, oh, he's going to ruin your life. Like, run. Like, what? Your parents are awful, but they might have been right. Get away from this man.
Yeah, and I love how reprises are used in this show because like when you first hear a song, you hear like kind of like the sad version of it. But then a couple like scenes later, you hear like the happy version of it, like the version that like felt so optimistic. I don't know. My favorite songs in this have always been I think Our Time, the very final number where they're just like kids essentially and they're on the rooftop looking at Sputnik and everything, and they have stars in their eyes and they're like, we're gonna do great things and everything, and we have so much going for us. I think that song is absolutely stunning and devastating, but also beautiful and hopeful. Opening Doors, which is just the one big number where the three of them are still young and like really like pursuing their shit and writing and getting rejected and everything. That's Stephen Sondheim has often said that that's one of his like top 3 like favorite things he's ever written, like songs he's ever written. It's just so well done. And yeah, I don't know, Not a Day Goes By, obviously. I always loved Like It Was, which is the song Mary sings to Charlie like near the beginning. I think it's just so like devastating and just like honest and simple. And I've always loved the vibe of it. Obviously, Franklin Shepherd Inc. is a character actor's fucking dream, girl.
And
like
Daniel Radcliffe fucking killed it. Because the thing is, every like song or performance or moment in the show, I'm like, oh wow, well Lindsay Mendez is like blowing everybody out of the water. But then when Daniel Radcliffe does that, I'm like, give him all the Tonys. This is incredible. Obviously the song is what it is, but he is performing his face off. I think these 3 were just so perfectly cast. And honestly, in watching it, I was kind of like, I'm more worried about the filmed version that's being worked on now. Like, I just am hoping that, Ben Platt, Paul Mescal, and Beanie Feldstein can do what these 3 were doing, because I believe their chemistry so very much. But they're also like seasoned, trained Broadway performers. Like, they sounded great. They were incredible actors. So I'm sure, the film version will be good, but it made me nervous because I was like, well, I want you to be as good as this is. And I know we're filming this over the course of 20 years or whatever, but like, I hope everybody's doing a great job, because the material is there. The source material is there. And maybe by the time it comes out, we'll all have forgotten this, but I will not have. This will be fresh in my mind, and I'll be comparing, and maybe that's not fair, but it just was a high bar. Like, because I thought the performances throughout this were like excellent from every person, honestly, even the people outside of the 3. Like the girl who plays Gussie is incredible. Obviously, the girl who plays Beth, Joe, I thought was really good. That actor, I was blown away as someone who just saw Wicked for Good in the theater. I've seen so many musicals in the theater recently, and
it's your number 3 on Spotify as far as genres.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was like, Merrily is not my favorite Sondheim show. Even though like Charlie is like a very huge dream role for me, like I would give anything to play that part. So maybe one day, but I think it's it's a good production that I'm happy they have immortalized in a pro shot. Both the London production and the US production, I think is it's great that we have both versions. More pro shots. Let's get some funding and see what else we can film and broadcast in theaters, because with the next piece of news we're about to talk about, News for Idiots, we need some shit in movie theaters, okay? Might as well be some good musical theater, okay?
Because we won't be seeing the Warner Brothers films in theaters for too long. Last thing I want to say about this show, I think it's up there. Like, I think Company probably right now is my favorite Sondheim show of the ones that I've seen and engaged with. But I'd say Merrily is kind of up there. Like, I was like, it just, even like if song for song, it's not like my favorite thing ever. It's like, I just was so hooked in throughout the entire time. Even if I was pissed at Frank the whole time, at least I had it was like when I was listening to Lily Allen's album and was pissed at David Harbour. At least I was having big feelings, like that's probably a part of it. That's probably what Sondheim would have wanted.
Yeah, my top 3 Sondheims are Sunny in the Park with George, Into the Woods, and Pacific Overtures. But Matt Palmer, there is also we need to start watching some Sondheim shit for maybe Patreon or whatever. There's a recording of A Little Night Music, which is fucking incredible. It's performed at the I think Lincoln Center Opera House or something like that. Somewhere that we can sit. Oh, I have so many big plans for us when we finally get back together to watch all these musicals.
We've done a lot of musicals recently. Maybe it's time for a break. But, someone who's taking a break from theaters is Warner Brothers, because Netflix bought them. Netflix has announced that they will be acquiring Warner Brothers. Together, will define the next century of storytelling, creating an extraordinary entertainment offering for audiences everywhere. The acquisition is expected to close in 12 to 18 months. For a total enterprise value of approximately $82.7 billion. So this is HBO, so Netflix now owns HBO Max. It's also owning, obviously, all the films that Warner Brothers is releasing. And I think a question was asked to Netflix, how is this going to affect the scheduling of those films? And they basically said, we'll still be putting things in theaters, but they'll be moving to streaming quickly. That was it wasn't, those words weren't used. It was essentially we're doing something that it's easier for the consumer, blah, blah, blah. But what they're saying is we're just going to move everything to streaming sooner. There will be an exclusivity of 2 weeks, whatever they're doing for the new Benoit Blanc film. What's that? Knives Out. Whatever they're doing.
Wake Up Dead Man. Yeah.
Yes. Whatever they're doing for that.
That's Netflix's thing. They release a movie for 2 weeks in these movie theaters that not AMC theaters, because AMC is fuck you Netflix, but in movie theaters that aren't all over the country, and so it's very difficult to see them in movie theaters if you don't live in a major city, and they basically just move into movie theaters so they qualify for Oscars. Right. And because a lot of times filmmakers are just it's in my I'm stipulating it needs to play in movie theaters, but then it just goes right to streaming. This is obviously so devastating and frustrating. It's just and what I don't understand their reasoning for doing this. It's Wicked is estimated to make $500 million, in this run. And it's because it's in movie theaters for so long. Right. Movies are going to make less when they're not in movie theaters for so long, because people can't all see something the week it comes out or the 2 weeks after it comes out. And also a lot of times movies, they get great word of mouth. And so that's why they eventually become successful after a long period of time. And it's just so frustrating, because it's there are so many movies that, distribution companies that, movies can go to. Obviously Universal, blah, 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 independent ones like A24, their movies find success. Mubi is finding a lot of success. All this stuff, but Warner Brothers, they have so much. I think what was this year? Warner Brothers had Sinners, which was so much money. Superman, which was so much money.
Wow.
And what's it called? That's going to win Best Picture this year. One Battle After Another. Those 3 movies made so much money, and the reason why movie theaters are able to stay open is because of those huge money makers. A lot of times, those money makers are intellectual property that belongs to Warner, that will always belong to Warner Brothers, like Batman, stuff like that. I think all the DC stuff is Warner Brothers. I'm not positive about that, but it's because of the success of those, couple of movies that other smaller movies are able to go to movie theaters, because those movie theaters are able to be kept open by those 4 or 5 huge movies per year,
Right. It's just sad. It's just I don't know. It's just so clearly a move that is going to negatively affect the filmmakers, negatively affect the people actually responsible for creating this art, and is going to positively affect the streamer. It's all about at least Netflix's of course, if you want to see this new Superman 2, that you saw Superman in theaters but you didn't make it to the theater in its first 2 weeks of release, guess I got to get Netflix. All they want to do is up the price, up the subscribers. Netflix of all the streamers is the most do not share your password with your mother when you're home for a break, and it's so how much money do you need? You have enough money to buy Warner Brothers in total and make sure they have short lives in movie theaters. But it's just the goal is so clearly not about the artists. And it just reminds me of what happened with music. Like, it reminds me of when everything in music became streamable. Everything was a streaming platform. It's like, these artists aren't making enough money. The people actually creating the content, if we're going to call it that, for you to enjoy on these platforms are not going to be making enough money. So how is this tenable? Like, why are we rewarding the business people in charge of like devalue and while devaluing the art? You know, like that's what it felt like to me reading this news.
And it just doesn't make any sense when like the head of Netflix is like, no, people want to stay home and watch these movies at home. And it's like, no, like, do you not know what happened like with Wicked? People fucking dressing up in their fucking pink and green all over the place. The Oppenheimer and Barbie situation, the Barbenheimer shit, like people making an event of that. Young people especially are enjoying going, like they're the ones that are keeping theaters open kind of now. Like a lot of people are like, oh, young people just want to sit and watch their phones. It's like, not really. It's actually like older audiences that aren't going to the movie theaters now. That's why Conclave was such a big deal. It got older people back into the movie theaters. But like people aren't giving young people enough credit for like wanting to go to the movie theaters. Like whenever I go to movies, it's all younger people that I see.
Right.
I went to the movies the other night and it was all young people there, like under the age of 30. They were like packed. And so I just think it's really, really bizarre. And I hope this makes a lot of directors say, you know what, I don't want to be distributed by them. I hope a lot of directors really say like, no, I'm going to choose this other distribution company, even if it's smaller, because I want my movie to play in a big screen, and that might, get them a little less money and everything. But I hope that really makes these smaller distribution companies find a lot of success. And I mean, it can also, it's also great because, like Mubi, for example, I believe The Substance had all these offers from these huge distribution companies, but they all wanted the movie The Substance to change its ending. And could you imagine The Substance with a different ending?
No.
Could you imagine?
Literally
and so,
not.
But Mubi was like, yeah, we'll take it as is. We love it. And even though no one before then had ever fucking heard of Mubi, they were like, we're going to go with Mubi. And what happened? The Substance was huge and it made a ton of money and was really successful on this small distribution platform. And now now it's a very up and coming distribution company. So I hope this gets a lot of directors and producers and everything to be like, no, we want to work with these smaller distribution companies, and hopefully those distribution companies will find a lot more success. Obviously, like IP material like Batman and whatever that's owned by Warner Brothers like isn't going to be able to do that. But
right,
I'm hoping that it will force artists and everything to really, really fight against this and be like, no, we are going to take control of our art and this is what we want to do with it. And I just really hope this acquisition in general just doesn't happen because it's like not official yet. But
yes. And I guess we will see. I saw that the Critics' Choice nominations came out, and Sinners and Adolescents are leading the nominations. What am I seeing? I'm seeing for Best Actress, Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne, Chase Infinity, Renate Reinsve. I don't know how to say her name.
Renata
Reinsve. Yes. Amanda Seyfried.
She was the star of Worst Person in the World.
Oh, I love her.
She's in Sentimental Value this year. Yeah.
And then Emma Stone for Begonia. And then Best Supporting Actress, Ariana Grande did get in for Wicked for Good. Elle Fanning, Amy Madigan, Inga Ibsdotter Lilias, I don't know. Runmi Mosaku, Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. How are we feeling about the nominations in general?
I mean, I'm happy with them. Like, I'm happy that like Inga, whose name I don't know how to pronounce either. She's fucking amazing in Sentimental Value, so I'm happy she's finding a lot of success with nominations and everything. I don't know. I'm happy. Like, now is the time of year when all the critics are awarding their stuff. We have 3 of like the 4 major critics organizations, like LA Film Critics Association, New York Critics, and National Board Review Critics announced all of their winners as well. They're very much sort of like the precursors to the precursors. Like they're the like smaller voting bodies that get people excited about like the Golden Globes and stuff like that, while the Golden Globes get you excited about the Oscars.
Right.
And I mean, pack it up. One Battle After Another is winning Best Picture. Paul Thomas Anderson is winning Best Director at the Oscars. Like, it's just because One Battle After Another won all of the big 3 critics awards.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah. I believe MBR went with Jafar Panahi for Best Director, and the other two, I believe, were Paul Thomas Anderson. Rose Byrne won all three for leading actress.
And that's what you wanted. You're very pro Rose Byrne, right?
She's phenomenal in that movie. But a lot of people were thinking Jessie Buckley's going to sweep everything. But it's oh no, Rose Byrne's getting the Critics Awards, which is exciting.
Who got Best Supporting Actress?
Best Supporting Actress. Inga won the National Board of Review for Best Supporting Actress for Sentimental Value. The New York Film Critics, they went with Amy Madigan from Weapons, and the LA Film Critics, they have just Best Supporting Performance, where they award two people, and that went to Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value and Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. So Supporting Actress is really becoming a competition this year, which is exciting. And I don't know. I'm into all of these wins and everything. Critics Awards are also exciting because they tend to be a little different. They tend to have a few more surprises out there. Jafar Panahi. Jafar Panahi won director for New York Film Critics Awards. That's what it was. Surprises like that and everything. So yeah, it's just always a fun sort of prequel to the prequel to the Oscars.
Right.
That Critics Awards are. So yeah, I'm excited about all of it.
I love it. Okay, I feel like we're running a bit long, but Sabrina Carpenter, good for you. Tell them to go fuck themselves. Tell the White House to go fuck themselves. I love that she jumped in and did that. I saw that Katy Perry is now Instagram official with Justin Trudeau. She just posted a whole Instagram carousel, and Justin Trudeau's all over it. And we love that. Good for them, I suppose. The Pantene color of the year was essentially white. So that was weird. I think they call it what? Cloud Dancer. Did you see that?
What is that?
It's just they pick a color of the year. This is the year of this color. In 2025, it was XYZ. In 2026, the color of the year, white. And so
what the hot color will be in fashion?
Yes.
Okay, cute. Okay, I got a lot of white shit. I can wear that. I guess it'll be fashionable in 2026.
It feels boring, but okay. I hope everybody's having fun.
Listen, there's only so many fucking colors in the rainbow, girl. They got to recycle some shit. And one year it's got to be white. White is clean. It's crisp. It's it's springtimey.
But yeah, when I don't know, maybe I'm just being the friend that's too woke. But when it's fascism time in America and the people are being, I don't know if we need white to be the color of the year. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if now's the time. Here's
the thing. White does not look great on many white people. So they're actually white people are a little disadvantaged in so far as this goes. Because
no one clipped this.
Because sometimes there are some shades of white that some white people, it just washes them out.
I'm sure that's
so. White people are going to be walking around looking a mess in 2026.
Right. And the description of what Matt Steele just said was actually the Oxford word of the year. It's rage bait. It's when Matt Steele also goes in about toasting something being cooking. It's rage bait. And so I'm glad that we have Oxford on our side and letting us all know that that's what's happening.
It's actually not rage bait. It's actually the dictionary definition, because cooking is
I'm not engaging with you on this.
Being changed chemically through heat. That is what cooking is. And so therefore, when you toast something, it means that you are cooking it. Thank you.
I'm not.
Ladies and gentlemen. End of Act 1.
I cannot and will not engage. But Miley Cyrus is engaged. We love that. To Max Miranda, I'm not sure. But congratulations to the two of them. And RuPaul's Drag Race is coming back for season 18 on January 2nd on MTV. I've not met the queens yet, but the video's out. And I'm excited to jump back in because I usually just do the regular seasons. Internationals are a lot for me. All Stars, I still don't know all of the queens from history, so it feels a little odd. But then I feel like we're on a good schedule of when the new queens are out, I'm going to watch the show. So excited for January 2nd. Can't wait.
Excited for January 2nd. When does Trader start? That's January as well, right?
I think it starts on the 8th, I believe.
Okay.
Of January. Okay. Yeah. So mark your calendars for that. We're pumped. So yeah, Matt Steele, do you have any other news for idiots you'd like to share with the people?
Girl, no, we've been going for an hour.
That's what I'm saying. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break and then be back with more 2K Mats, the podcast. 3, 2, 1.
All right, I snapped with my left hand there, and while you're doing the editing for this audio, you will hear how quiet that snap was because I'm not great at snapping with my left hand.
That's okay. We all have different talents.
Yes, but what is our talent, Matt Palmer? It is podcasting, I guess. And so how can people keep supporting our talents?
Guys, thank you so much for listening and or watching the podcast. If you enjoy us, please give us a 5-star rating and or review on your Apple Podcast or your Spotify. And if you really enjoy us, go to patreon.com/2gmatch where you can get extra bonus content from us so very regularly. You can join the Discord and chit chat with us and other friends you haven't met yet all the live long day. And in January, you'll be able to see and listen to our Traders exclusive patron only spinoff podcast, which is going to be available there. And so yeah, do all of those things. Show us you love us because we love you. And Matt Steele.
Yes.
What section of the podcast are we in?
We are in Email My Heart, and this is the section of the podcast where we answer any questions that you guys might have. You can be a part of Email My Heart if you email us at 2gaymats@gmail.com. 2 is spelled TWO. And so we have a question from the wonderful Shabi. Shabi says, it's been a while, but hey, it's me, Shabi, and we need a conclusion to the long-awaited question. What kind of boyfriends would the life of a showgirl, Caution, Here for It All, and Cowboy Carter be? That's all I wanted to ask. I hope you have a nice week. In case y'all don't know, in our YouTube channel, we have a series of videos where it's like, what kind of boyfriend would this person's albums be? Where we do like Beyonce albums and Mariah Carey albums and Taylor Swift albums and everything. And it's like, what kind of boyfriend do we attach with each album? So since those videos, other albums have come out. So Matt Palmer, what would you say the boyfriend of Life of a Showgirl would be? I'm just going to say it's a football player. You got the star of the football team and you're just kind of happy and you're kind of just like going out and having a nice time, not thinking too much about it.
Yeah, I feel like it is one that is very friendly. Like everyone, it just came out this week that Travis Kelce made note that he and Taylor Swift, quote unquote, have never gotten into a fight. So it seems like it'd be a very smooth sailing kind of relationship, very starry-eyed, very happy, very, not argumentative, I would imagine.
I worry about that. You gotta fight because then things are going to be built up. And then when you do have your first fight, there's going to be a lot of crazy resentment shit going on. And then, baby girl, that song is going to be incredible.
And it's like, even if you don't want to call it a fight, even if you don't want it to be like blowing up and yelling and throwing things, it doesn't have to be like that.
You dropped my hand.
Oh God, it doesn't have to be like that. But you should be having tough conversations with the person you're going to marry before you marry them, because you don't want to be in a marriage before you've really had these hard conversations that are just necessary in getting to know a person. Like, you're not the same person that is just meeting and it's like, oh, we agree on everything. That's literally impossible. So let's talk about the hard stuff that's going to come up later on now before we walk down the aisle.
Yeah, and that's also a very boring relationship. And don't you want some passion? I mean, we heard, but Daddy, I love him. We like some fire. We like some danger. We like some passion. So girl, we Life of a Showgirl, we enjoy and everything. But next album, we hope you have a fight before the next album. So there's a little something there.
Not next album. We hope you have a fight.
We hope you have a little. No, we don't want you to break up, but just like a little fight where you argue with each other and then you make amends. You have a makeup song, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, Life of a Showgirl is definitely your boyfriend who you've never been in a fight with, because everything is just so happy, and I can't complain.
Can't complain. Cowboy Carter, I assume you're Southern. I assume you're a Southern man who's, not just doing the Southern thing and, wearing your cowboy boots. You're kind of putting a twist on it. Like, you're bringing everything into a modern era. Like, I would say you're fashionable, but down home. But again, there's a twist on it that makes you more specific, more unique, not just like everybody else. Like, there's not like you're going to be in a lineup and we won't be able to tell which one you are. Like, you jump out, but you just are coming from a different background than maybe other boyfriends we've had in the past.
I'm going to say the Cowboy Carter boyfriend is the guy you meet who you date and they have so many hobbies and so many talents that you're just like, you're too like accomplished as a human being, and I feel kind of inferior. Like I feel like such a fucking loser. Like I remember when my ex-boyfriend, my first boyfriend from college and everything, I was just like, he's done all this shit. Like he grew up in Idaho. He knows how to like survive in the woods by himself, but yet he also had this incredible operatic, beautiful baritone voice. But yet he was also like a really good dancer, and like, he could do this, he could do this. I remember one day we had been dating for like 6 months or 7 months, and he told me once that he won some sort of like county chess tournament or something as a kid. He was like a chess champion and like competed at like the statewide championship or something like that. And I just remember like feeling like just like, Jesus fucking Christ, you fucking got to do all this shit. What have I done, girl? And I was just like, oh my God. Because like Cowboy Carter, it's just, there's so many sounds. There's so many achievements. There's so many things that like it overwhelms you a little bit. And you're kind of just like, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. You're so amazing. I'm a piece of shit.
I don't know. I don't know that you should feel that way. Everyone's got their different talents. Even if some people are just more focused on like this, you're like, I'm an actor. Capital A, actor. That's what we're focusing on. That's what we're doing. And you excelled at it. Look at you now, off-Broadway superstar, Matt Steele. Not everybody has that.
We're still waiting to get to where we need to get to. I'm not quite Franklin Shepard Inc. level where I've achieved it all by 40. But
not yet.
We're getting there. We're getting
there.
Okay, caution. What would caution be?
Oh, caution is too fucking cool for school. Like definitely cooler than you are. Like, and just like a little more forward thinking, but it almost feels like it just feels so unfamiliar. Like a little colder than the boys I've been dating, and just like a little cool, and like everyone loves him and is like not just loves him but is like awed by him. Like, oh my gosh, like you're the future. And I'm just like, but I'm just me. That's my feeling for caution.
Okay, interesting. And I can't say you have the deepest of conversations. It's more like cool, because it's not like we're really going like super. I mean, except Portrait.
Yes,
Portrait obviously is pretty devastating. But it's not like Caution is like her most personal album or anything. Mm-hmm. It's more so cool and stuff like that. And you're kind of just like, yeah, I still got it. You're probably dating someone a little younger than you. And you're like, I still got it. Now, Here for It All is a little something different. I feel like Here for It All, like, you're kind of home, you know?
Yes.
Like,
it's very much closer to what you usually date, but also with maybe a little bit of an Anderson .Paak swag twist on the end of it, you know, like someone a little bit more soulful. Maybe that's just like us moving through life, like someone who's age appropriate. Like this is someone who's going to be listening to an adult R&B station versus like, you know, the youth out there, and but still feels like familiar to you. It's less like outside of your comfort zone.
I feel like Here for It All is like someone who is like, you can go out and do fun things with them, but they're not like fun things that are like out of your comfort zone. They're also someone who is happy to like stay in with you and like watch movies with you, and just like I think Matt Palmer, I think Jackson is your Here for It All.
Oh, that's so nice. I'll pass that along. Which, by the way, Jackson did his Spotify Wrapped. He doesn't listen to Spotify a lot either, but Mariah was his #1 artist. And Here for It All was his #1 album.
Look at you, so Jackson. Like, good boyfriend. Look
at that. We love that. We love that.
All right. So one more little email, my heart.
We got two.
This Wave. We got another one. Yeah. From This Wave. This Wave just wanted to know what if we have any Christmas wish list.
Ooh, great question. You know, I don't really know that I do. It's I feel like as you get older, you're less likely to be like, oh, I need this XYZ thing, because it's like, A, you don't need as much, and B, like if I need something, I've probably bought it. I don't know. I part of me is still interested in additional speakers, because again, like I mentioned, the Sonos speakers of it all, like I would love that. I also, and this is really boring, but like we moved and I feel like we don't have a good shoe rack in our like open, like our like front door closet. And so the shoes are just kind of, it's just strewn about
everywhere.
In that closet. I don't like that. Not everywhere, but they're in the closet, but they're just not in like their own place. And every time I open the door to the closet, I'm just filled with dread because they're not organized. So that's on the list for me. What about
all right,
you?
Jackson.
I know, hopefully he's listening.
It's It's so funny because since I've been here in New York, I've ordered 2 books and I've just had them sent to like my home in Jersey. And I'm just like, I'll just bring these back to LA with me. One of those books is 107 Days by Kamala Harris. The other book is Behind the Mirror by Taron Armstrong, which I bought a signed copy. He's the guy that does the Big Brother podcast that I listen to.
Yeah.
And he wrote a book all about Big Brother. And so, I opened them when I was like in Jersey for Thanksgiving and everything, and I just like put them on my bed. And my mom was just like, Matthew, are these 2 books that you bought for yourself? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, I'll give you the money for them, and then I'll wrap them and put them under the Christmas tree for you. These will be your Christmas presents.
I love it.
So that's my Christmas wish list. Yeah, I can't say I have my Christmas wish list for 2026 is to get funding for my next movie.
Yes.
That won't happen by Christmas, but damn it. Well, maybe a plan will be in place. Something will happen.
We love that. See. And also, become a subscriber, guys. We need those fucking plaques. I mean, I don't know how many times we could say it if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, if you only listen to the podcast, just go to youtube.com, click subscribe, buy 2 gay mats, because we'd love to hit that milestone, even if it doesn't happen in 2025, because, you know, the holidays are a slower time. But I just need the plaque. I'm dreaming of the plaque. I'm thinking of the plaque. We got to get the plaque. We just got to get the plaque.
We are dreaming of Ben Plaque, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely, we are. Okay, thank you for the question, This Wave. I appreciate it.
Do you have a 2 gay minutes?
I kind of have a short one, and it'll be good because I don't think I have a giving me moments. But okay. Yeah, it won't be, I don't know if it'll be the full 2 minutes, but let me explain something that's happening in the housewives world that is
all right, guys,
upsetting me.
This is 2 gay minutes. This is the section of the podcast where one of the Matts rambles about something the other Matt doesn't give a shit about for 2 minutes and 2 minutes only. And Matt Palmer has something for me. And are you ready, Matt Palmer?
I am ready.
Your 2 gay minutes begins now.
Guys, I think I mentioned last week that Kandi Burruss and her husband are going through a divorce. His name is Todd Tucker, and they have had 2 kids together. They've been together, I believe, for 11 years, and they got married on a reality show spinoff of Housewives of Atlanta and called Candy's Wedding or something. One of the storylines on Candy's Wedding was getting Todd to sign the prenup because Kandi is obviously very rich already. She wrote No Scrubs. She was in Escape. She just has a million businesses, all of which were started without, Todd. So they're divorcing, and I'm thinking this will be pretty easy. This will be pretty amicable. They've been hanging out at their children's birthday parties or whatever. And so I'm thinking, this can't go wrong. Everything's going to be okay. On Wednesday, November 26th, Tucker filed a response to the divorce petition that Burruss filed. He said that their children are currently with him in Georgia while Burruss, 49, is working out of state and is requesting full custody of the children because Candy's, out working. So she can't be a full-time mom, XYZ. And he's also contesting I signed that prenup, but I was pressured into it, and my lawyer wasn't present, so maybe we shouldn't uphold it. This man is so clearly coming after her money because it's he doesn't want those kids full time. He just wants the money that he'd get from child support if he was the sole if he had sole custody. He doesn't need her money that she wrote for No Scrubs. He doesn't need her money that happened before her. He just wants this extravagant lifestyle when it's baby, you've made so much money. You are rich now. Why do you need any of Candy's money that you did not earn together? I understand splitting up assets that you guys earned together is going to be a process. Why are you coming for her shit before you even were involved? And why are you trying to get full custody of these kids and imply that she cannot be a working mom? There are a million working moms out there who travel, who do a lot. Kandi is, and he even said in his petition, Candy's an incredible mother. So then what are we doing? What are we talking about? Why do you need full custody? She was offering joint. You just want this money, and it's gross to see. Todd, I'm ashamed. I thought better of you. That's all I have.
2 minutes is over. Is he the guy who's short with a big head?
He is. To quote Mama Joyce, yes, he is short with a big head. Absolutely.
Sir, I was rooting for you. As someone who is also short with a big head, I was rooting for you. You had to go and do this shit.
I know. It's just gross to see. This really could have all gone really smoothly, and he is choosing a different path.
A different path.
So wait, you told us that you don't have Travis tracks this week, but Travis reached out to you and wanted something to read on the podcast or something. Is that what I'm to understand?
Well, okay, because Travis has been unable to do his Travis tracks because Travis is he's applying to grad schools in January, and so he is taking a class, I believe. math class or something like that. I forget. But and he has his finals this week, so he's been studying for finals. And so he's like, so I don't know if I'll be able to listen to the Travis tracks this week. And I was like, it's okay. And he was like, but I did experience something this week, and you can tell them my thoughts on that.
Okay.
So I get a text from Travis on Monday. This is before he told me he wasn't going to listen to Travis tracks. But he texted me randomly out of the blue. And he said, I've discovered the beauty of something this week. And I was like, what? And he said, the last 5 years. And I was like, Travis. And I was like,
king.
now you know the gospel. And I was like, okay, how'd you think? How'd you feel and everything? And he's like, I feel like the movie didn't do Kathy justice. I was like, there's more to this story. I know there's more. She's not getting enough opportunity to express herself. I feel like she needs 3 more songs or maybe an entirely new show all to herself. And I was like, yes, she's absolutely the queen. She's like, and he's like, we need 20 years after the last 5 years, a follow-up musical. Let's go. He said he liked various different things about the movie. He liked Sherry Renee Scott as the casting director and stuff like that. He had some stuff to say about Richard, the guy who was who Kathy did the shows in Ohio with. He was like, I want to know who Richard is. What's his story? Like, what's his deal and everything? Like, why did he say, all things considered, I guess you don't have to buy it? Like, what's the all things considered? You're his wife. Of course you're going to buy it. You buy like 5 of them. And so I was like, well, because it's Richard's just kind of like a bitch. Like, he's just and he was just like, do we think that Kathy was maybe leading Richard on? And I was like, Kathy's perfect. Don't you say that. But he was like, well, why would she go to Borders with him? And it's like, I don't know, girl. They had nothing to do in Ohio. They all go to like Borders together. That's what they did. And he was like, I would straight up tell Richard, listen, Jamie fucks me so good. I'm going to buy another one of these books for the royalties. You can go fuck the stripper, Richard. So he had a lot to say about Richard.
He's really focused on very peripheral characters.
Yeah, and he was just like, Richard, you can tell, is one of those gross, straight musical theater guys who feels like he can get everything he wants. And I'm just like, you're not super incorrect about that. So then Travis went on to say a few more things. He was annoyed that their apartment was so nice. He was like, how did they afford that really nice apartment? I'm like, well, he got that, book deal and everything.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And then I asked him a really, really important question. I was just like, Travis, how do you feel about the song, the Shmuel song?
Fingers crossed.
I know, which is crazy because we had a whole video where we made Travis listen to songs that both of us disagreed on, and he had to pick which one of us was right. And he just said, it's not my favorite. It's fine. It's a little weird. I feel like it's just included to really drive home that Jamie is Jewish. And I was just like, yes, fuck the Shmuel song.
That's not what he said, by the way. He didn't say fuck the Shmuel song. You threw that at him.
I did throw that at him. But yeah, I would say Travis is more my side on the Shmuel song than yours. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to see if there's anything else he said. He's like, I get why it's a cult show. I feel like, again, Kathy needs her own show. And he said he was also devastated by the line, I will not lose because you cannot win.
Oh.
And he said, I would love for someone to say something like that to me one day just so I can feel something.
Travis.
And I'm like, that is such a you answer, Travis.
I don't want anyone to say that to him because it's horrible. And so I feel like he could feel in other ways. I don't know. Like, I don't want someone to be cruel to him the way Jamie was cruel to Kathy.
Travis is an actor like me. So like, he loves feeling very strong emotions, just like me. I'm just like, just like lathering myself up in this devastating moment of my life right now. Let me just like cry all my tears and just like soak myself in a bath of the salt water of my bodily fluids. So Travis and I have that in common where we love feeling things.
I like going to bed. If a feeling gets too strong, I'm heading to that bed, baby. I can't engage. Much like when you start talking about toasting.
Oh, yeah. You're just like, disengage. We're done. I don't know how healthy of a reaction that is to when you're feeling strong feelings. But you know what, Matt Palmer? You've gotten to almost 40 doing it. So I guess you'll be fine for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I mean, I bet the healthiest is probably somewhere in between you and I. We shouldn't be bathing in our emotions, so we probably shouldn't be ignoring them either. So, hey, I'm in therapy. We're working through it.
Yeah. Okay, so we are on to not email my heart. We already did that. We are on to giving me moments. This is the section of the podcast where we talk about the things that we've consumed that have given us life this week. Matt Palmer, do you have anything?
I don't really have anything. All I'm going to say is that, yes, I saw Brittany Bateman, who is a Real Housewife of Salt Lake City friend of. I saw she performed at Studio 54. I also saw that Audra McDonald was there because she had a duet with her husband in this show. And so wild. But the thing is, I believe Brittany has been a touring Broadway performer already. Like, she's been the lead of some show that was on tour in the US. So it's not surprising that she is as talented as she is. And I would be rooting for her. She did a rewrite of Still Hurting from the last 5 years and made it all about the housewives and how she's still a friend of, even though she brings so much to the show. If this was all I knew of her, I would be so obsessed with her. But then you watch the show and she's the worst mom in the world, or at least was for a big block of time. So it's really hard for me to get on board with her. She's also always coming after my girl Meredith, who is problematic and maybe was mean to Brittany on a plane. We don't see the footage, whatever. But I don't love Brittany, but good for her. I'm glad she's talented and gets to hang out with Audra McDonald sometimes. Secondly, I watched the 3rd episode of Heated Rivalry, which was about 2 different characters. It was about Scott and Kip instead of Ilya and Shane, and enjoyed it. Invested. Can't wait till next week. And then Merrily We Roll Along, obviously. It's the holiday season. Mariah's going to be number 1 next week. I have a lot to be thankful for, but no giant giving me moments this week from me.
Okay, well, I have a few.
Right.
So
okay, let's go. Let's go do that.
Speaking of, oh God, I can't believe I gave Netflix my money this week, but I saw Netflix's Wake Up Dead Man, the new Knives Out movie, in theaters because I wanted to see it in theaters because that's the best place to see movies, ladies and gentlemen. I saw it. It's so much fucking fun. The Knives Out movies are just really, really clever, really, really great. The performances are really good. Josh O'Connor obviously is great. He really carries the movie really well. And Glenn Close has this juicy ass motherfucking scene at the end of the movie. And it's just you better fucking work. I love everything Glenn Close does because she always just really reminds you in the roles that she takes that acting's fucking fun. She takes roles and she's just you better give me some fucking juice. I'm Glenn Close. You better give me something fun to do. Okay. And they absolutely do that with this movie. I don't know. It's just such a wonderfully watchable, entertaining movie that has you sort of guessing what's going to happen with each moment. And this one, the theme is it takes place at this church. It follows the murder of one of the head priest at this Catholic church. The priest is very corrupt and he's sort of leading a cult in some sort of weird way. And it just everyone just check it out, even though we're mad at Netflix. I don't know, I'm very conflicted with what y'all should do about that, but if you do see it, it's great. And we love it. But next movie I saw was a movie called Hamnet, which was directed by Chloe Zhao. She famously won Best Director and Best Picture for Nomadland in 2020. And it is based on a book, I believe, by her name's Maggie O'Farrell. It was a very successful book, I believe. And it's basically a sort of fictionalized story of the real wife of William Shakespeare. The name is changed in the book, I believe, because her name's Anne Hathaway in real life, but and it's sort of a fictionalized story of how they met, how they fell in love, and a tragedy that happens to one of their children when the kid's about 10 or whatever, and how that sort of inspired Hamlet or Shakespeare to write Hamlet, essentially just sort of changing the name a little bit and immortalizing their son in this play that will end up becoming the most famous play literally of all time. It's beautiful. It's devastating. Girl, me and Travis need to go together, hold hands and cry the entire time. It's so just devastating and haunting. And what I loved about it is, it's more about the wife than William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is played by Paul Mescal. The wife is played by Jessie Buckley, who's fucking phenomenal in everything. And she's the front runner this year for leading actress at the Oscars, and deservedly so. It's what I love about it is, it's a movie about a story about literally the most revered artist of all time, but she's kind of seen as the interesting one because she's kind of like a witch. She kind of like does like weird shit with herbs in the forest and everything, like wants to like deliver all her babies in the woods. So, you know, she has this like interesting connection with nature and everything. And the film really follows her. And yeah, like Shakespeare is obviously a very important figure in the movie and everything. And obviously there are moments where he's doing his writing and everything, but like it doesn't portray, a lot of times when you see a movie about like an artist, it's so glamorized and it's just like, oh, have you seen this? Oh, you see them writing and the genius inspiration comes to them. And it's like, no, it really portrays this guy as just like a guy who was sitting there just like trying to write something, trying to make money as a playwright. And it didn't really romanticize the actual artistic process of it. It really just kind of like focused on them as people and their relationship, and they both felt very, very relatable, even though like one of them was a witch and the other one is the greatest like writer in history or whatever. So it's like I could really relate to these two people. There is a scene where Jessie Buckley, obviously like the big tragedy happens, where Jessie Buckley is so astronomically incredible. Like truly amazing, like what she does with this scene. Like something really horrible happens, and not only do you see her moment of like pure grief, but then she does something so interesting in that moment where you see her try to also like make sense of the grief and try to like figure out kind of what to do next, even though there really is nothing she can do next. It's just she's just so insanely watchable. You're with her for the entire ride, and it's really a powerhouse performance, amazing performance. There's also an amazing scene that I love that's all in a wide. She's like fighting with her husband, and she does something that like you never see in a movie. She goes to slap him and she just completely misses his face. And it's like you can tell that like, or I don't know if this is true, but like it seems like she was supposed to slap him, but in the take she just like missed his face, so she really just goes to deck him and misses, and it ends up being like such a like moment of levity in such a dark, heavy moment in the film. It's such a real moment. I really just like little details like that in the movie. Obviously it has this amazing ending that really epitomizes why movie theaters are needed and vital, because watching art in a communal space is so vital to society. There's this beautiful moment that happens that really shows that, and maybe the head of Netflix can really look at that moment and learn something. But also, speaking of theater, I saw a Broadway show this week, and it was the adaptation of Sophocles' Oedipus. Robert Icky, he adapted it for like a more modern moment. It takes place, it's this British it's a very famous story about, the guy who it's like fated that a person tells him like, you're gonna end up killing your father and fucking your mother and all this stuff, and then things kind of like weirdly end up happening in that sort of way. This is a modern day adaptation of it where it's a guy and he's running for some major office in, I don't know if it's like a nationwide competition, I forget, but it is starring Mark Strong as Oedipus and Leslie Manville, who, from not Oscar nominated for Phantom Thread as Jocasta, his wife. And it's just like a modern day retelling of it. And it's like a thriller. It's so well done. And even though it's like a story that so many people know pretty well, like it's a it's a play that's studied in a lot of high schools and everything, a lot of people know the play, you're still kind of like wondering how everything's going to wind up, how everything's going to turn out in this modern like adaptation. The performances are fucking amazing. It was absolutely worth the price of a Broadway ticket. I really loved it. It was like the number one thing recommended to me by like all my castmates in Messy White Gaze. They were like, because they've gradually seen it as the weeks have gone by, and they're just like, if you see anything here, like see Oedipus, and it didn't disappoint. It was really great. So those were the little things that were giving me moments this week.
All right. I love that you've been consuming so much art that's been filling your soul right before the holidays and right before, you come back to LA. Think of how wise you'll be once you get back. You've taken it all in.
So wise, dressed in all white. I'll be looking like a fucking, in like the white linen something. I'll be looking like a, I don't know, like a yogi or whatever.
That you'll fit right in LA. There's a lot of yogis around.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to and/or watching the podcast. Matt Steele, is there anything else you want to tell the people before we say goodbye?
Oh God, no. This is so long. This is such a long podcast.
Hey, we had shit to say. Who knew? I didn't know coming on that we'd have shit to say, but we did. So thanks for that. And thank you guys so much for listening and or watching the podcast. We'll be back next week with more 2Gay Mats, the podcast.
Bye, guys.
Bye.